Hi, welcome back to Lunch Break with Lexplore. I'm Janet, a kindergarten teacher and a mom of two.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm in 5th grade.
And Ben always helps us out pretending to be a beginner reader. Today we're going to talk about some comprehension things you can do with your child at home. And the most important thing is to keep it fun. You want to keep it fun. So Ben and I were working on a little project, and this is an excellent project because it gets them talking about the story and it gets them initiating their language about the story. And that's the key to the beginnings of comprehension. It is also the foundation of reading and fluency. So the more we get them talking about what they're reading, the better. We're establishing those good reader habits nice and early. Ben, tell us what you did.
I made Curious George and I put him on the bathroom cup.
Okay.
Fire.
And who's this?
The fire dude.
So if you read the story, so we worked off of Curious George and the firefighters. So we created the characters of that story. We attached them to the back of bathroom cups. You can use I like the little small bathroom cups. They're just easier to manage. You can use any size plastic cup or, any kind of non-breakable cup. And then, or you can also use blocks or little toys that you build with of any kind. Legos, you can make little Lego towers, anything to help stand up your characters. You also want your child to draw the characters. When they have a sense of ownership, they're more likely to be engaged and to use these characters to engage in language activities. So we're going to show you how that's done. So while creating these characters, we can talk about it. How did George feel, do you think, when the firefighter yelled at him, Ben?
He didn't like it. He felt sad.
He felt sad, right? It was a terrible feeling. And then how did he feel at the end when they were all celebrating him?
He definitely felt happy and excited.
And you can take it further and have them thinking more deeply about the story by making inferences. And children as young as 3 years old can make inferences. How did he feel? Well, he felt sad. How do you know? Well, he was frowning, right? Or he was crying, or he was happy because he was smiling. Those are all inferential statements. Now, after creating the characters, Ben and I went ahead and created the setting. This is a multi-day project. I would do this over a couple of days, creating the characters on one day and then the setting on the other. So there you have it. You're talking about story elements, the parts of a story, characters and setting. So if we're going to be at the firehouse, of course we need a fire engine, right? So we created this so we can talk about the sequence of the story. You can have your child retell the story, which is an important part of comprehension and understanding sequence, by using the settings map that you created and the characters. Now, I noticed when I finally get around to having time to doing something like this in my classroom, I always think, oh, I just don't have time for that. I just don't have time. But then when I do, it keeps them busy for the longest time, and it is such a meaningful activity because they love it, and they're talking about the story, they're comprehending the story, they're retelling the story, they're using sequence words, which is important in their writing later on, right? So here we have the setting. We can talk about the beginning. Where did the story start off? With George where?
At the fire station.
With who?
The fireman.
Right, and the fireman was giving him a tour because they're on a class trip, and you can go through the story. They hop on the fire engine. Hop on the fire engine, Chief, and then we go because there's a fire, right? And you can continue on with the beginning, the middle, the end of the story. There are so many components of comprehension that you can tackle with this little activity. This can take up a couple of days, starting with the characters. The kids love it, and they actually stay engaged for a long time, and you'll get a lot of independent play out of it too. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing you next time on
Lunch Break with Lexplore.